You can start.
Hello everyone, good morning. It's my pleasure to welcome you all to today's SheLeads sessions on unraveling the MEP designs. We are honored to have with us three exceptional women leaders from the MEP industry, Ms. Mamta Rao, Ms. Avni Sikka, and Ms. Megha Bhatt. Their expertise and inspiring journeys are sure to provide valuable insights into the dynamic world of MEP designs. Let's begin with Ms. Megha Bhatt, a dynamic leader in MEP consultancy industry. She is the director of Electra Techno Consultant and Associates and the secretary of the FSI Gujarat chapter. With a BE in Civil Engineering from Nirma Institute of Technology and a master's in Water Resources Management from LD College of Engineering, Ms. Bhatt brings over 20 years in rich experience in the field. She has driven over 500 projects across the sector like residential, commercial, metros, airports, hospitals, and smart cities. Her contribution to the industry have earned her several awards like the Real Woman Award in Construction Industry by Panasonic, the Eminent Entrepreneurs in Engineering Field Award by PDPU, and the Best Alumni Award from Nirma College of University. She also actively contributes to curricular development at Nirma and CEPT universities. Next, we have Ms. Avni Sikka, a distinguished MEP consultant with 16 years of experience. She is the founder of Arctic Engineering Solutions and Urban Studio Private Limited, where she leads a team of 50 professionals. Ms. Sikka, a passionate advocate for sustainability and water conservation, serving as a joint secretary of IPAC and core member of Focus Ahmedabad chapter. She has been recognized with the TRW Award for Gujarat Real Women Professionals for her outstanding contribution and leadership in the field. Her expertise in innovative MEP designs and commitment to eco-friendly practices makes her true trailblazer. Lastly, we have Mamta Rao, a seasoned professional with over 21 years of experience in the HVAC industry. She is the founder of SM Engineers, an HVAC consultancy and design build firm. Ms. Rao started her career with consultancy firm and spent even 7 years in Dubai working with leading companies like LG Dubai, Carrier Dubai, and SEAT. And after returning to India in 2011, she established her own firm and has since delivered prestigious projects such as HVAC system revamping of the RBI Governor's Office, the new the new office building of SBI Chairman, and Mangalore Airport. She is also empaneled consultant for the State Bank of India and Central Bank of India, making significant contributions to the HVAC industries. Now, I will request Sheetal ma'am to carry forward the session. She is also one of our leading MEP consultant and the managing director of USBCs.
So it is UBAC, not USBC.
Sorry,
Uh,
sorry, sorry, sorry,
so
sorry.
thank you for introducing me, Priyanka, and introducing all my panel. I'm really happy for moderating this panel discussion today with all women MEP team from our own TRWGC. And as we all know, the construction industry is rapidly evolving, and MEP design plays a vital role in designing built environment. And in sustainability also, if you see, 60 to 70% contribution is from MEP. So MEP is very, very important topic. And I still remember I evolved from being a electrical engineer to MEP in last few years. And there was a time when people were not knowing what is MEP. So if you see my YouTube, you can see a video about what is MEP also. There was time when we had to go and explain people the meaning of MEP, how MEP consultant works. And now if you see, as per ease of doing business, MEP appointing an MEP consultant is become mandatory, and people knows the importance of MEP, but it becomes our responsibility now as a professionals, because we all cater to very important services like fire safety and comfort of the occupants, which are our end users and ultimate clients. So today we are going to focus on importance of MEP, and with our panelist, Megha. She is again MEP consultant, but her topic is like she can talk more into plumbing. Avni can speak more about her expertise in electrical, and Mamta can speak more about HVAC. So this is a diverse panel what we have got. Without taking more time, I will start shooting questions to my panelists. So my first question is to Megha. So Megha, we all face this problem because MEP is like all architects, interior designers. They always feel, कि अरे ये MEP है तो ये जगह क्यों चाहिए आपको? And we always have this space constraints. And we always have this conflicts between interior designers and architects about the spaces, MEP spaces. So how do you resolve this with your stakeholders? We would like to know that.
Thanks, Shital, for the question. First of all, good morning to all of you. And again, I would like to thank Shital because I think Shital, last 2 months back to back, we have a very good panel discussion, FAMTech, MEP Conclave, and this third is our TRW discussion. So thanks, Shital, for giving us opportunity. Thanks a lot. Now coming to the question, yes. Now there are the when it comes to that the MEPF planning. See, in the we all know that architect and builder and all the client that doesn't want to give enough space to us. So there is a tug of war between architect and MEP consultant regarding the space constraint. But what I feel after this experience, I can say that every coin has a two sides, right? So MEP engineer has to understand the building beauty. That is my first thought. And second, I would like to share that architect has to understand the building functionality and give priority whenever it's required. So when I am talking about say that the space planning, so mainly space planning depends on our first thing is the accurate calculation for all the services, whether it is plumbing, fire, HVAC, electrical. So if your load calculation is done properly, then very initial stage, we can directly communicate with our entire team. So that's what I feel that if MEP consultant involved in very early stage, then it would be very easy to give our thought process, and also we understand the architecture and client thought process, how they would like to conceive the projects. So what we feel that the involvement of MEP engineer on early stages, again, regular coordinations, meetings are required. We can means give the priority and give the arrange the system in a such a way that architect understand our requirement and we understand the aesthetic as a priority, right? Depend on the project requirement. Nowadays, 3D beam modelings are there. Yes, with the help of that, they can visualize the thing what we would like to plan for a project. Flexible design approach like say whatever the criticality system that I don't want to compromise anyhow, right? But yes, modular design में space optimization है, alternate routing है, open communication we can do with the architect and entire team, and depend on the aesthetic and value engineering, we can come out with the better solution, and that way we are working. Thanks.
Thanks, Megha, for your answer, and I really appreciate what you said. Even we also of that same opinion. We have to know the purpose of that building. Okay, why this building is built. What is the idea behind this? What is your interior designers or architects' thought process? All that understanding is required from our side also. And I want to shoot the same question to Mamta because Mamta leads in HVAC, and HVAC I think is something especially in interiors. HVAC plays a major role because every time placements is very important, and there's a lot of discussions going on about fall ceiling height. So this is the first thing which started in any interior projects. आप मुझे height कितनी मिलेगी, मुझे fall ceiling और ऊपर लेके जाना है, और ऊपर लेके जाना है. So how do you tackle this situation, Mamta?
Okay, first of all, good morning all. And Sheetal, thanks for this question, because this is a very important question. And we always, for each and every project, we face this question from the architect, कि आप कुछ compromise करो. So if we talk about building as a human body, then I would say HVAC is the cardiovascular system of the building, where this is where HVAC plays very important role in your comfort as well as your health, everything. So what we ask when any project come to us from architect or from client or builder, we always request them to involve us at the initial stage of project. If they don't involve us, I would like to share one story here. When we were working with a builder for one project as a consultant, and that time builder has approached us when building was ready, and he had faced lot of issue outdoor kahan rakhna hai. Now how I can take a drain pipe, meri height bahut low ho rahi hai. Then we had asked him that, see, now we can't help you, you'll have to compromise somewhere on this space. Otherwise, if people will install systems, HVAC systems, then the systems are not going to run for 4-5 years, more than 4-5 years. Because there is no place for the maintenance, even there is no place to keep outdoor units, no drain is going in the proper slope. Then he realized, and after that, he always started us to involve in at the initial stage of project. And it really saved a lot of his energy, as well as a lot of coordination with the fire lines, with electrical, and then HVAC. And that's how then we can guide them to size the duct shafts in the building, as well as where the beams are coming up. We can propose them to keep a sleeves when at the initial stage. So this actually helped them to improve their fall ceiling height, improve their other services, maintenance point of view. And that's how then we always ask everyone, even architect, we request, please involve us at the initial stage of project, where we can help you a lot to, so there will be no compromise on the heights later on. So that's how we work. And we work very closely with architects, and also coordination is a key with other services.
Yeah, thank you, Mamta. Even we all agree to this. And Avni, I'll come to Avni now, because she's patiently waiting for when we start
Yes.
with her. So Avni, I think you are also an electrical engineer like me, and then you started giving all the services. Now you are handling the whole MEP services. So now, according to you, which is the toughest field in MEP design? Because MEP is a very big basket, and I think this basket is getting fuller and fuller day by day. We are adding more and more to it. So, what is the toughest according to you?
So basically, Sheetal, it depends ke what kind of project is there. Like if I talk about a corporate house, then HVAC is going to be a critical thing because they are worried about the fall ceiling heights and other things. If I'm talking about a residential building, they always talk about the plumbing pipes ka elevation and what is going to be the pipe pressure and other things. When I'm talking about the industry, so electrical becomes the toughest part because the regulation of voltage and the kind of power quality they want, you need to design it accordance to them. But if you ask me, I mean, we can define like now for every aspect we have consultants. Like now MEP consultant's role is becoming really important, and people are aware that MEP consultant has to be appointed for a project just the way they appoint the architect and structure. So I feel that individual disciplines are performing really well. All are doing wonderful work by designing a building based on the requirements. But the key aspect I would say is the challenge is system integration, because when we design electrical, plumbing, AC, fire, now we all know that architect has provided some negative space. Now to use that negative space either for tank or the substation above the ground, or to provide an AHU room there, is going to be a big challenge. So I feel that individual system design in isolation sometimes we can do easily, but when we harmonize the systems, with architecture and structure framework, it is really challenging. And since all buildings are different, so these challenge we face every time we design a new project. Second, I would say now everybody is talking about sustainability. So, I mean, the sustainability practice they expect from architect, but from MEP, they want all the points when we talk about green building. So, sustainability aspect, when we club with our design, ensuring that it complies all green building standards and maintaining the system efficiency and everything. So sometimes we face challenge to identify the space for everything. And as Megha rightly started, that if we are involved right at the beginning, we can ask for spaces. But many a times it happens that, I mean, Mamta would agree that AHU room we still get on floor. But if I ask about an electrical room, that I also need an electrical room on every floor. So they see is like, I mean, why you need electrical room on every floor? Either we can give you on ground floor, or you consider a big duct and you accommodate all cables, DB, everything there. So when we talk about sustainability, I need meters for every floor. I need meters for every like for HVAC, I need a separate meter. Electrical, I need a separate meter. So for those meters, I need a panel. I cannot run everything on a DB. So I feel incorporating sustainable practice is one of the factor which is the toughest part when we talk about MEP design. And the most important part is regulatory and safety. We have to do a design in a way that it follows all the regulatory and safety aspects. So now for a very small example is fire duct. Now how many fire ducts are needed in a building? It varies from state to state. It varies from local CFO to local CFO. If I talk about IS talks about that every 500 square meter there should be a fire duct. Now, when we go to a local CFO, they ask that the hose reel पहुंच जाना चाहिए मेरा showroom तक या apartment तक. Now, in some cities, it is mandatory to have sprinklers in-house in the apartment. Here in Ahmedabad or Gujarat, we have sprinklers mandatory only the buildings above 70 meter. So, as a consultant, it is toughest to design a system which is applicable for every building. So along with our design, we have to look at the local standards. I mean, even if I design a building as per NBC, people come and tell us that वो बाजू वाले building में तो नहीं किया, then why are you proposing this? So then we say that it is required as per codes and standards. But then they want that we follow the local codes and standards. We also follow the NBC, but we should also look into the local codes of standard. So I think that is most of the toughest part of MEP design is ensuring seamless, sustainable solution which is compliant with integration of all system within the provided space, I would say.
And many a times we have given spaces such negative places like a triangular space.
Yes.
Accommodate substation there. That is the typical start of any project. That's a triangular space. Now that's a negative space. You can do whatever you want there. So this is how any project meeting starts. So going forward, so Megha, we for our audience, we want to know if you can give any advice or tips for efficient planning of MEP services, which in turn can optimize cost of installation or in operations.
Yeah, thanks, Sheetal. Now, Avni and Mamta rightly said that if we have appointed at very initial stage, it would be very easier for us, right? जैसे Avni said कि भाई location of transformer है DG, triangular space दे दिया, right? So whether it is required at that place or not, negative space में underground and water tank, that also face a lots of challenges. So when I am talking to the efficient planning, so efficient planning means whenever I get the type of connectivity उस फेज पे मैं सारी सर्विसेज कर पा रही हूँ यस और नो sometimes what happen if vastu consultant enters in the mid of the project na it change everything in our project, right? So what we feel at very first stage for the efficient planning अच्छा होगा, then also you can come to the cost optimization and operation will become always last, but yes, to do the operation what we do the efficient planning at very initial stage that plays a very important role. So that we all agree that our involvement should be at the right place. Again, collaborative design approach. So I need to concern with the architect, all MEPF services, and along with the client's requirement. So what we do, say for example, if I would like to optimize the HVAC design, so I do the accurate calculation and provide the right size system. So I cannot compromise for hotel and hospital planning, but yeah, I can something play with for residential project. That is in our hand. We can go with the zoning and provide the variable speed drives for the HVAC system. For electrical, we can do that the smart lighting system. We can go with the LED lighting and provide that the motion sensors and dimming controls. So that way, whatever that the after installation, so that the running and maintenance costs we can optimize. If I'm talking about say that the plumbing system, so we design the pipe sizing in a proper way, so that whatever that the pipe sizing we can play with, that gives you that the better water pressure requirement for the fixture and faucet. Now water efficient fixtures, so nowadays we compulsory focus on the water efficient fixtures, say for low water consumption. Now for any common toilet or a public toilet, we anyhow convince our client that you should go with the self closing tap or a prismatic taps. So that's a nowadays it becomes a necessity, right? Then we go with the shower heads. So when we plan that the hotel and hospitals, we can tell them rather than the going for a 25 lpm and 50 lpm shower, we should go with the same effects with the 5 to 10 lpm shower also. We get the same feeling. Just we need to play with the hydropneumatic system, right? Then the third one is the flushing. Now WC flushing nowadays available in the 3 liter, 6 liter also. Instead of going with the old 5, 8 or a 5, 10 liter per flush. That way also we can suggest them. Again, urinal flush valve, or if the building is just like an airport, when the maintenance facilities are available, then we always go with the sensor based tapping system. So where we can get the maintenance facility at the certain intervals, like centralized hot water system, rather than using for a water heater for a multiple toilet area, we can suggest the centralized hot water system. Nowadays leak detection system is available, so that also we can plan it out and do the maintenance activity very easily. Again, we can go with the STP planning. Now, local guidelines are there with us. So whenever we plan out, say, treated water, so treated water we can use for the flushing, landscaping, also HVAC makeup water, car washing area, or any means local wash area, we can go with that, right? So that way we can use the all type of techniques in our efficient MEP planning. Now, cost of optimization, what I can say, installation and operation, that also we can suggest in a client that go for a value engineering in terms of bulk purchasing. We can suggest them go with the local sourcing rather than going for some specific demand. We can ask them if local sources is available, then we should go with them. So that way we can optimize the cost. We don't want to cut off the cost of MEP, but we can optimize in a such a way that as an engineer we can do that, and that can be possible, right? Nowadays so many makes are available that make have a competitive rate in the market, because they have to also stand in the market. So if we give that the client have a multiple project, so we can suggest them to go with the bulk purchase for all the means material required. Then also operation cost. So we can tell them when you buy a pumping system, so whether it is for HVAC, makeup water, or a plumbing system or a fire, then you should go with the one make only, because you get the maintenance facility afterwards very easily. So that how we can give tips, and while designing, we cater all those points in our MEP design. Thanks.
Thanks, Megha. I think you gave a lot of tips together. I'm sure people have written down, but we will give the recordings also, so you will be able to, write it down. Okay. So coming to Mamta. So Mamta, what are the important HVAC design parameters you feel architects should consider during initial project planning?
Yeah, so there are certain parameters which I think we now think to make it as a mandatory things. So in that parameters, first of all, the fresh air intake. If it's a commercial or it's a big residential project also, fresh air intake is very important for your health. No, nowadays no one think about it. I mean, when we talk to architect, when we try to convince them what is need of fresh air, first question comes to us. But along with air conditioning, when you are sitting inside for 7-8 hours without fresh air and your air conditioning is running, there is no air change. I mean, same air you are breathing every time, which is very harmful for your health. So that awareness is still not there. in fact, I would say that awareness is not there in client, end user, as well as architect. So every time we have to insist them, we have to convince them to give us provision for the fresh air, which is very mandatory. At fresh air, if we are talking about sustainability, then I would say please take fresh air which is not raw, which is treated fresh air. But to do this this exercise, we need a lot of space. So this space also, while designing a project at initial stage, architects should consider that these are the mandatory things. And second, again, very important issue which we have faced in few years, that our humidity is going very high in Mumbai, particularly where the seaside is there. So humidity is going almost 98% or 97% in monsoon. So what happens, a lot of condensation happens in everywhere, whether it's corporate building or it's a residential building which is near to sea. So dehumidification is very important in air conditioning areas. We should be nowadays, I think we should think of while designing the system. But dehumidification you can do with along with the air conditioning. You need not have to put that ugly towers and portable dehumidifiers every time. So this happens when we get involved at the initial stage. So pressure, dehumidification, and then space for the maintenance, because we have seen that we get very few space, like very less space to maintain the outdoor as well as indoor units. In fact, when we keep outdoor in such places where hot air is also not going out, so you won't get that efficient cooling inside, as well as your units are taking a lot of power to run. So this can be avoided if we consider these all parameters while designing the systems. An architect also think when he design any system, any project or any design, then he should think all these 2-3 parameters while designing. And there should be building envelope. Then your windows, if you can avoid a lot of heat gain from windows, then your windows are designed in such a manner that there should be extra coating, or there should be proper building envelope, or ventilation. Ventilation is again a one parameter which architects should consider. So these are all parameters I think we must think of while designing the project, and we should involve these parameters while designing.
Thank you, Mamta, and I agree to you, because I think air conditioning is looked as only cooling and not comfort. We have to think about comfort also, which is, I think, highly missed while designing, or because spaces are not given. As a consultant, we always try to suggest all these things at the beginning of the project. But then when you say about TFA and fresh air, अरे ऑलरेडी इसका डक्टिंग जा रहा है, फिर आप प्रेशर का भी डक्टिंग डालोगे तो मेरा तो फॉल सीलिंग का हाइट का प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगा. So these problems are always there. But here I would like to add, in my office, we have treated fresh air fan, and we have done pressure ducting all over. And though our office is not big, but still we have done that. So I think it's about what we are preaching. We should also do that in our own offices also. That's what I personally think. Okay, going forward, I would like to ask Avni. I think many a times we hear that I think this is something like an allegation which is always made on our MEP fraternity, that consultants are making designs which are partial to some manufacturers. What are your opinions about this?
So basically, Sheetal, we all work for project. So what we need is, we want to do the best available things for the project. We want to push the best available technical solutions to the project, so that eventually, the overall project will have the effect of those technical efficiencies. So sometimes what happens while designing, or while we keep the best possible specification into the tender. But what happens is, ultimately the specifications which we have provided are going to be provided by some manufacturer, because somebody is making those products. So I'll give you an example, like when we design an energy management system. So initially it was only Schneider who was providing ecosystem. The ecosystem, for any energy management system, there are 3 steps. First step is to install a right right meter at the right place. For example, at transformers and others, important place, we provide the highest efficient meter, which takes care of multiple parameters. Then in the distribution system, we install the other meters, like which have unlimited parameters available. And the third system comes where the monitoring and the overall algorithm part comes. So what happened initially? Initially, we used to suggest energy management system specs in a way that all the meters are inclusive and the algorithm and the supervisory licenses are also there. So then what happened, that whatever specs we have provided, only Snyder was able to make. So it was not that it was favoring Snyder, but since they were providing the entire solution, they had higher chances to win this. Now what happened? Now Secure is also providing energy meter solution. L&T is also providing an energy meter solution. But whenever we are designing a specs, it says that, for example, we talk about a supervisory based model with they are presenting algorithm they are making. So the third step comes at the subscription and the algorithm model. So which only Snyder provides, but not other two are providing. So, like we try to provide a system where it benefits the project, but sometimes these allegations are always there that this is favoring one product only. But now we are into the stage where, for any tender, we generally provide 3 makes or 4 makes, and the specs are also something which is not favoring any one party. But still, there are when one manufacturer don't get the order, they simply go and tell the client that this is favoring one person only, so we are not able to compete. The second example I would like to give is lighting. If we talk about 10 years back, we were proposing only CFL lights and other. So at that time, the model which was available in Philips, equivalent model was available in Wipro, G and all the light fixtures. But abhi jab se LED light fixtures are there, so now specifying an LED light fixture for a project is becoming a challenge. So we used to write that the light fixture should have 50,000 burning hours, keeping that in mind that in a public building, generally basement lights are always on. So even if you provide a higher efficiency LED light, the burning hour should be something which should be there. Similarly, the company who is providing the lighting should have NABL certification labs. It should provide the LM70, LM80 certification. So these are the parameters which distinguish a general local light fixture manufacturer from a one who is providing a service support since years. So initially it was seen as that this is favoring only 3-4 companies. But nowadays, all the lightmen, if we talk about any local light fixture like Focus or Cisca is now not there, but like any LED light manufacturers are having these parameters. So we as a consultant always want to support the project in a best technical manner. But sometimes they see it that this is the latest product available in this company. That's why they have provided this. But don't we need the best, latest technology available buildings? So if we need the latest buildings, then we have to follow the latest specs available. Now, whoever is providing that becomes the winner sometimes.
Well answered, Avni. You said what we I think we all wanted to say, and very well you answered this question. So coming to Megha now. Megha, what is the difference in gravity and pneumatic water distribution system, and what is better from user's perspective?
Okay. See, we all know that gravity system means water distribution system, that water flows from the elevated area, right? So earlier days only that the water distribution system is from the gravity side only. And while we design that the any building, that the water distribution system is the heart of the system for a plumbing planning. So how do we means compare? See, gravity we all know that it's starting from that the water elevated from the elevated storage. But what happened that nowadays all fixtures requirements are differ. All plumbing fixtures have own pressure requirement. So if we go with the pneumatic system, so pneumatic system is a better option that we can play with the air and water and the pressure. So that's a very beautiful things nowadays. We can go with the any height or any elevated area or any underground area. We can directly propose that the uh, hydropneumatic system. But when you compare that the hydropneumatic system or a gravity system, basically it depends on the type of the building, height of the building, and the building requirements. It plays a very important role. When I'm talking about, say, if my building is a residential building, it's only basement G+7, then I should go with the gravity systems only. But say, for example, if my building is the mixed development building, every floor requirement is different, right? And if we have to plan, like, say, for core and shell requirement, and the tenant comes and they will plan something else, right? So for that conditions, and for a high-rise building, see, nowadays high-rise concepts are day by day, now buildings are high-rise ही बनते जा रहे हैं. So for a high-rise building, only option with us that the hydro pneumatic system, because gravity has a certain limitations. Why? Because when we plan out that the as per NBC guidelines, we need to provide the storage at underground level and the overhead storage. So for a gravity system, we would like to store the water at the terrace level comparatively higher compared to the hydropneumatic system. So that's increase the dead load of the building also nowadays for a high rise concept. I am not talking about that the low rise. So that case that the hydropneumatic system plays a very important role. So what we do as a consultant, say for example, my domestic planning in such a way that so we can go with the project for the hydropneumatic system, because there I require a very less overhead storage tank. No doubt, yes, energy consumption that you saw that the capital investment and the energy consumption is higher for the hydropneumatic system. But yeah, ROI you can get it within the 3 to 4 years. That is for sure for the hydropneumatic system. And compare with the gravity system, it has a certain limitation of the height. So that's why depend on the type of the building and the height of the building, we can suggest for a water distribution system. Thank you.
Okay. I think it's already around 10:45, and we should open this for the questions and answers. I think we already have got few questions.
Yeah. We will take one by one.
Yeah.
So basically, Khushbu wants to say, yeah, seems like the entire session is designed for architect. Khushbu, yes, I can understand your emotions, but then architects are the leaders, in any of the building. I will only answer this, sorry. So basically, we have to mention, without mention of architects, we cannot go ahead. We cannot conduct this section. So I hope you understand. Anyways, so Avni wants to ask, whenever the design is done by MEP or HVAC contractor, I think this is for you, Mamta, for the architect or customer, but still the customer does not agree to the same design and pressure to do the work as per their idea. I mean, whatever contractor is suggesting is not many a times not agreed by customer. How to convince the customer as a MEP contractor? Yeah. So basically, I think it boils down to spaces. Is it space requirements or fresher intakes? That is what, Avni, you want to ask?
Yes. I want to ask that whenever MEP is suggesting any design to the customer, but they have some ideas in their mind and they want to allocate that idea in their design. So technically, it is not correct 100%, but still they want to do same type of design. Then how to convince the customer that technically this is not right and this is the correct way?
Should I answer this, Shikar?
Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
So this happens when, MEP consultant is on board, but client is more influenced with the contractor. And in that case, what happens, contractor always tell client that this is the extra specification or unwanted specification, which is going to increase your project value. And I'll make it more simpler, and I'll provide you this system, which can save your money. So in that case, if client is not ready to listen and use our design and our specifications, then simple thing is what we will have to convince him that whatever we have given him as a design or specification, which is for the longer time. I mean, if he sees that whatever design he has got or whatever things he has got it from other team, That may not be for the say in terms of saving power or in terms of long life of your machine, because when we design any system at initial stage, we always think about the life of machine. It should be more efficient, it should be advanced and easy to use. These are the things we always think about while designing. We are always unbiased about any brand or any specification. And as a consultant, we always try to look into a client's benefit. So we will have to convince him that these are the things which are going to help you for the longer run of your machines, your systems, and as well as it will save your power by using this specification or using this designs given by us. That's how always we do.
Okay. Thank you. Thank
Uh,
you, Mamta.
any further question you have, Avni?
Yeah.
I
Madhulika
hope
wants to know, how do you incorporate fresher and dehumidifier in the residential apartment, about 101,000 square feet?
okay. So there are two types of dehumidifiers in the market. One is with the ductable system, like if you have ductable systems in your project, then you can incorporate or you can integrate humidifiers at the stage of execution in the system, and above false ceiling you can have those systems, but it takes almost 18 inch of height. So that height you will have to convince architect to drop this 18 inch in false ceiling, but that will save you a lot of floor space, because in second type of dehumidifier you will have to place this dehumidifier which are standalone in corner on in one corner of your room, and you'll have to always drain out the water, which is more tedious process for the client end users, and also it looks sometimes it looks ugly, so they have to hide somewhere and these things comes. So we always tell client go for the centralized, which you can integrate with the ductable. If you have ductable systems, then in ducting you can have one branch of dehumidifier flexible duct and use it.
Yeah, in continuation with the same question, actually, Mugdha wants to know, do we need to need humidifier in dry zone as well with air conditioning?
No, it's not required in dry zone, because in dry zone humidity goes up to hardly 60 to 65%, where dehumidification is not necessary, because your air conditioning act as a dehumidifier in that
Yeah.
case. So it's not required.
Yeah.
No. I think the question got wrongly put. The thing is, I wanted to ask like the zones like Nagpur and all, where the air is very dry and we cannot use ACs, we have to use coolers, the normal traditional coolers, which also humidify the air. So in that zone, we do need humidifiers because if we do not use, the air becomes so dry that you feel the dryness in your skin and it adds to the trouble. So my question is, do we need to humidify the air along with the normal air conditioning?
Yeah, so this humidification is necessary where the RH level goes below 55%. So if it goes below 55%, then definitely you should have humidifier in place, which will again treat and add some humidification in the air, and the air will be comfort air and normal air. Then definitely you'll have to see whether it goes below 55 RH, percentage of RH, and then you have to add it.
So
Okay.
is there a system in place where we can incorporate it with along with the AC, or we need some standalone systems for that?
For humidification, you will have to go for the standalone systems.
Okay, thank you.
Priyanka, you want to ask your question, the last question?
Actually, Anjali, I'll like to comment. What the question which was I had asked, I think I would like to
Okay.
elaborate it further. There were two
Okay.
components to my question. That was, say, typically, if you observe, if you are building a residential apartment somewhere in India or you're outside India. Typically, outside India, when it comes to the air conditioning system, you have a centralized system, and each apartment will get its own, centralized So there will be, it's very easy to incorporate fresh air, humidifiers and all. But typically in India, when you're going for a residential apartment, each apartment is, a standard is each apartment there's a owner, and then that person is going to do everything, design and everything for them. Now, these people, what they do is, they'll take a contractor on board and who will just put some splits here, there, and something, and work is done. So the interior designers, they are not aware of what are the things, requirements, and all that. Now, at such place, if you have, if you could give recommendations and about how, because see, pressure is very important here anywhere. So at this place, you have to see apartment size, consider Indian scenario apartment sizes, and how will you incorporate fresh air? Where, because nowadays, if you see most of the places also 12 hours, 15 hours air conditioning are running even in residences. How do you incorporate? Now that was the question. So that is where you give solutions. So tomorrow, any interior designer, they will try to incorporate that in their design because they are not aware of this.
Okay. So in that case, if a residential project is more than 1,000 square feet or area and contractor is designing simple high wall unit, we call it split units. In that case, we can't have fresh air intake in those kind of split or high wall units. There is no provision for the fresh air. And if client wants fresh air, or if we are insisting as a consultant to take the fresh air, in that case, what we can do is we can have small treated fresh air unit inside. Maybe we can place it in the passage somewhere or in kitchen area or utility area somewhere. And from there, we can take a small duct running in the passage and then small grills which are coming out in the rooms. So that way we can do it if it's a split unit or high wall unit. In even in the offices, if the small office is there, what happens, if small office and we have seen that client wants to put make seat lot of people inside, like staff, maybe for the 1,000 square feet of area, there is a lot of staff sitting inside, and same air they are breathing. So we call it sick building syndrome, which happens unknowingly. We don't notice it, but it happens on our head. So to avoid that, we can have small TFA unit, treated fresh air unit, and duct is running, which you can have small duct or maybe PVC pipe of 8-inch and the droppers coming out.
Adulika, does it answer your question?
Yeah, I'm fine with the answer. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Priyanka, would you like to ask? You have one question. Yeah, you're on mute, Priyanka.
Okay. As a consultants, we sometimes face projects being put on hold or cancelled. So after investigating significant efforts, means how can we ensure fair compensations in such cases? And should we consider working with the same client again? If yes, under what terms we should work?
You want to answer, Avni? You want to
Then
answer?
want to add to it. I can see the this thing on her face.
I would love
Yeah,
to.
because it's happening so many times. Not so
Okay.
many, but
See, I'll give you an example. Like it depends the project, who is the client. Right now, we are working on multiple projects of Adani Shantigram, for example. So if I'm working on 10 projects with them, their 2 projects get on hold almost every year, and then they restart generally. So what we used to do is, I mean, whatever milestone is there, like if we are at the milestone of DBR, or if we are at the milestone of uh, tender, I would say that we understand that GST drawings are not going to be useful to them since the project is going on hold, and then the planning may get changed. But we can always convince them that the efforts has gone in DBR and the tender making. So till that milestone, we are expecting a fair compensation from your end, since we are the advisors for you for the other projects also. So sometimes a client who is giving you a repetitive job can understand this, and then they will compensate your efforts. But unfortunately, sometimes if it's a government project, if a government project gets on hold, I mean, in many projects it happened that we made all the efforts, and after budget, the project itself doesn't get approved. So on those kind of projects, now we have started asking for compensation even for the pre-bid consultation, because sometimes it happens that for pre-bid also we have to put lot of efforts, manpower to get to know that what is going to be the cost of that project. And after getting the cost of that project, even if you get the project or not, these are the charges we will be asking. So I think as a consultant, we have to make them understand that whatever efforts we have made for your project are to be compensated. Now then, working with them again or not is, I mean, individual's choice. It all depends the type of project. And now these days everybody is having enough work. So I mean, if the attitude of client is not proper, then I would definitely recommend that we don't work again. But any end with any client should be with on a positive note, that I mean, in future, if there is an opportunity to work together on a project, it should be open and conversation, and not the close end communication.
Okay.
So what
Sheetal, you can also
actually,
add here.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you
So
can add.
what I would like to add is it's not only for consultant, for any business, this kind of problems will come, and it's the decision as a business owner you have to take. So you might be an architect or interior designer. This kind of challenges will always come, but then you will have to take your own decisions based on your client relations and everything. And definitely you should be and you should try to get your money, because it's hard on money, and you should definitely try your best to get your money. That's what I would like.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Any more question
Okay.
anyone has? Like,
Or we can conclude.
no question from Yogini
Yeah.
Phadke, Tejaswini. Okay, I think we
Okay,
have
so
covered
we'll
everything.
conclude. Yeah. You thanks, Avni. Thanks, Megha, Mamta, and Sheetal. We discussed a lot of things, I think, and I can echo that most of the things. So basically, to summarize this, what we discussed today. So we all agree ki, and I think client is also agreeing, and maybe more than client, the regulatory these things are MEP consultant needs to be appointed at very early stage of the project, so that coordination and further regulatory aspects are taken care adequately. Then also we want to stress, we have stressed here, the value engineering is not a cost cutting. Okay, value engineering is like we have to improve the efficiency of the fixtures and fittings. We have to use controls in lighting, demand control, ventilation, lot of controls we have to use to ensure that this is buildings are sustainable. And for that, we need a lot of help from architect to take care of fresh air intake, to take care of climate change, the building envelope, etc. at the early stage of the project. And as a consultant, yes, we always work towards incorporating best possible specification in our tenders or any other drawings or any standard drawings, but at the same time, and we want it to be more generic, okay, but at the same time we want to have the state of art technologies available as on date, which keep on evolving, day by day as a part of our project. So sometimes, yes, sometimes whoever are the contractors who are getting that having those state of the art specifications come in the project by default. Okay, so yes, thanks everyone for being here. And I think most of us, any other questions we have, we can always contact us individually, and we can resolve that. Yeah, thanks, have a good day, everyone. Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Good day. Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
everyone. Have a good
Thank
day.
you. Thank
Thank
Bye.
you,
you.
Have a
Sheetal,
nice
for
day.
taking this.
Thanks. Yeah.
Nice
Bye.
session.
Bye,
Nice
everyone.
session. Thank you.